This week on Top of Mind, we're in Denver, Colorado, where I'll be talking to a student of the gSchool, a 6-month coding school that promises a job with a starting salary of $60,000. I'm your guest host, Amanda Sneeders, and this is Top of Mind. Hi, welcome to Top of Mind. We're on location in Denver, Colorado, and I'm here with Bri Thomas, who is a student of the gSchool. Bri, can you tell us what the gSchool is?
Yes, it's a 6-month intensive training program for Ruby on Rails developers.
So what got you interested in this rigorous type of schooling?
I heard about it from some friends of mine who are also developers, having taken an interest in learning a little bit of code myself, more so from the standpoint of expanding my literacy in code, because my background is in marketing and branding, most of that being a concentration in digital strategy. So I wanted to be more literate. And so upon just talking to some developers and asking a little bit more about it, I started learning to code a little bit on my own and fell in love with it. So they suggested I take a look at gSchool.
So marketing and branding, that's not usually a segue into coding. I mean, what first kind of piqued your interest? When did you first start learning to code?
Yeah, so that was probably just about a few months before I started gSchool, which this last class just started in September, so a few months beforehand. Again, in order to increase my literacy in the domain in which I was working, I simply wanted to learn a little bit of HTML, CSS, maybe some JavaScript, so that I could actually speak the language of the people that I was working with. I think that's really important because in marketing and branding anymore, I mean, we aren't just advertising, right? We're creating products. And those products are digital products, they're applications. So that's kind of how it started. And again, like I started learning a little bit in order to improve the career that I was in. Fell in love with it and said, gosh, why haven't I been doing this every day? There's something really amazing about at the end of the day, seeing something that you've built, something concrete and tangible that you can look at.
Now, CSS and HTML is one thing, but you're learning Ruby on Rails. I mean, that's
a whole different world.
Yes, a very big coding language these days.
Yeah.
And when you went into gSchool, I mean, did you know any of that?
None. Zero.
So you came in as
Zero.
a complete newbie.
Complete noob, yes. Complete noob. And it was definitely kind of a rude awakening. It wasn't that I didn't expect that it wouldn't be hard, because I knew that it would be challenging. But I have a renewed appreciation for all of the developers that I've worked with in my past life, as I should say.
So to kind of take me through a day in the life of gSchool, I mean, what's the curriculum like? What's your average, day like? How long is class? Things like that.
Sure. So we start promptly at 8:30 in the morning. That's Monday through Friday, and we are here until usually around 4:30, which is a mix of class time as well as some individual project work time or working with teams. Then outside of that, we all put in, I would say probably another 20, 30 hours on top of that. So they practice all the modern they instill all the modern methodologies. So we are pair programming, we're working agile, and test-driven development. So it's a lot of interaction, it's a lot of project work time, and then class time on top of that.
So there's a lot of programs out there, sometimes a 6-week program, sometimes a 12-week program, that do kind of offer a similar coding education. What was it? I mean, this is a 6-month course. This is intensive. What was it about this that kind of made you pick this? Plus, there's a guarantee that comes with this program that they'll get you a job for starting at $60,000. I mean, so was that an incentive, or what drew you to the gSchool?
I think that guarantee, at least for me, meant, okay, they know what they are doing, that or they have a lot of bravado. But I really, in looking at the other programs, which are 10 weeks or 12 weeks, that isn't to say that they're not valid, because I'm sure that they are. And I have met people that have come from those programs, and they have careers as developers right now. I know that for me personally, switching from a 10-year career making far more than that, this was going to be a big investment for me. And so a 6-month intensive everyday program was just more appealing. It just felt like I would get, obviously just from the time alone, I would have much more breadth as well as depth in programming, which is what, for me, I really needed to kind of take the leap and make a career change this drastic.
So not only is gSchool an educational program, but it's also housed in Galvanize, which is where we're currently at, which is, how would you describe Galvanize?
Energetic, co-working place. So there are a lot of startups here. And there are some companies here that are, at varying levels of startup. And it's actually, it's an amazing place where people come together to collaborate and bring some of their innovative product ideas to life. So it's actually been fantastic being a student in this atmosphere. I've had plenty of college in my past, and it's definitely a much, much different vibe. And I think just that sort of collaborative air around it is really great for new students learning programming, because we've had tons of people around here who are willing to listen to issues and things that we run into and be very helpful.
Because you've got companies in here that are, full-on startup and even working on the growth stage, and then you've got people just starting. I mean, how does that kind of play into, advice, mentorship, assistance? I mean, how do you guys interact with those people that are also here at Galvanize?
Sure. Well, so much like there's a variation here in Galvanize, there's also a variation just within, amongst my classmates. So some of us have companies that we either own now or are looking to start up, or we're coming to gSchool because we want to build a particular product, or some of us just really want to be developers working for a consultancy or a startup. So the advantage of being in Galvanize is that we are around people who share those same values. And so from a mentorship standpoint, we can walk up to anyone in Galvanize and talk to them about what they do, what they've learned, what stage they're in as a startup, how that's impacted, the decisions that they've made. And a lot of people in here, this isn't their first rodeo, so to speak. They've had lots of startups. So I would say that as students, we get a lot of great business advice. We have a lot of great mentors from a programming standpoint. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, and it also kind of provides the pathway to future opportunities for you guys. I mean, these are companies that are looking for, human capital and talent and developers and things like that. So kind of gives you that opening to make connections and possibly move into, down the line, this could be a company that you could work for, or they can connect you to someone else and something like that.
And we capitalize on that as much as possible. Yes, absolutely. It's a really friendly environment. And, I think as a community, we're all really invested in growth, whatever that may mean, be that company, be that student growth, new career. And so, we're really fortunate in that we can kind of call on one another from a networking standpoint. And we have a service that a lot of these companies need, or rather we will provide that service once we graduate. I think it's worked out on both ends of the scale.
That's great. Now, there's been a lot of push recently, I think, that we've seen kind of at the Kauffman Foundation for a growth in women or girls getting into coding, women hackathons, things like that. What is it that you think can be done to get more, girls interested in coding at an early age, or women becoming developers? What can be done to get more women in the workforce that way?
Sure. That's... I'll give you my opinion on that, although understand that I've been a developer for all of, a blink. So
take it with a grain of salt.
Yes, take it with a grain of salt. It is predominantly, there's plenty of articles about it, it is predominantly still a boys' club, so to speak. I think that getting to girls when they're young is key. I think that's when we as women are more open to the possibility of it. A lot, I think especially for me, I have a family, and I had a 10-year career, so this was a very, very, very big, scary jump to make. And I think that, just reaching women earlier could make a huge difference, because it's really easy, I think, as women to kind of get set in kind of your life practice and whatever job that you're in. And I think that there's no reason why we can't sort of shift the tide a little bit on the numbers.
I agree with you. Well, Bri, thank you so much for joining us on Top of Mind, on location in Denver, Colorado at Galvanize.